Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Dolapo, and on my channel I film about fully funded scholarships available for international students. And I've recently started a new series called the Master Series. So essentially this series is to kind of give you an idea of what it's like to study a master's program abroad, how to get a fully funded scholarship, the benefits of studying a master's, what you should consider, and just basically how a master's is and all of that. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Also, do check out the previous videos on my channel as well. I have shared basically what you should think about if you're thinking of doing a master's, and what is your motivation and what is your why. So do check out that video. I'll leave the link here. Also, before I go ahead, I would like to let you know that if you're interested in applying for the Chieftain Scholarship, the Chieftain Scholarship is currently open. I do have a video on my channel that talks about how to apply for the Chieftain Scholarship, and also in the video there was the Chieftain Scholar in that video who shared all of some helpful tips and insights into the Chieftain Scholarship and how to increase your chances of getting the Chieftain Scholarship. So I'm going to leave the link to that video here, so do check that out as well. So let's get right into it. Now, as you can tell from the title of today's video, is a master's really worth it? And not just a master's, is a master's abroad really worth it? Because think about it, you're going to be leaving, what you're familiar with. You're going to be leaving your family. Maybe, for example, if you're not traveling with your family, you're going to be leaving colleagues, friends, and, a system, a culture, an environment that you are used to then travel abroad and embark on this journey that you are not even sure about. And it's a big decision. It's a big step. So for those that don't know, or if you already know, I traveled to the UK on a fully funded scholarship in 2022 from Nigeria. Now, that was my first time coming to the UK. And of course, I had to rethink my choices, because in my head, I'm thinking, am I actually really ready for it? Is this master's going to be worth it? I don't know what to expect in this master's. So I'm going to share in my next video, I'm going to be talking about the things that you should consider before doing a master's. For example, if you're choosing a country or a school or a city where you want to do your master's in, the things that you should consider before going ahead, before starting your applications and things like that. But today's video, so that's for the next video. Today's video is basically talking about, is a master's really worth it? What are the benefits of getting a master's? And everything I'm going to be sharing in this video are just from my own personal experiences, because I do believe that when one shares their personal experiences, first-hand experience on something, it kind of gives you an idea. I remember when I was trying to apply for a master's to study abroad in the UK, I was searching for videos like this as well to kind of see, okay, what are people's experiences studying a master's in the UK. So I'm going to be sharing experiences from studying a master's in the UK and not in other countries. But of course, if you are considering studying a master's in other countries, this might also be useful for you as well. Now, let's talk about the first benefit that I gained from doing a master's. I would say, first of all, when you're doing a master's, you're going to be required to write a lot of academic essays. Now, academic essays are basically essays where you have to, you have to pick a topic, and either you do maybe a literature review or a narrative review on it based on what the instruction is on for that academic essay. And basically what you have to do is that you have to make sure that you read wide. So you're going to search wide literature, pick out information from different literature, then put in your own opinion, do some critical analysis and things like that. So it's basically you becoming a researcher when you are doing your master's. Now, before coming to the UK to do my master's, I did a few research in medical school, but most of that wasn't really I won't say it was really the kind of research that you would do in a master's degree. It laid the foundation, which was okay, which was nice. At least I had a rough idea of how to write an essay, but coming to do my master's was a totally different ball game. And I remember that I was struggling at first. In fact, my first assignment, I got I would say it was a very low score, but it wasn't a score that I expected. And that kind of, that kind of broke me because I put in so much work into that first assignment. But then because I was like, nope, we're gonna do better next time. So I just, tried to look at what I did wrong. I gave my essays to people that were doing their PhD to have a look at it. So they gave me like a rough idea of it. Now, this is one benefit I want to say about doing a master's is that it gives you some academic skills that you didn't have before. And also, even if you're struggling, there is help, especially if you're doing your master's in the UK. And I'm speaking from an experience doing a master's in the University of Sheffield. But I know I've spoken to a few people that have done their master's as well in the UK, but in a different university. And they also say the same thing as well, because you have someone that is called a personal tutor or an academic tutor. Basically, this personal tutor is to help you if you're having any academic issues or any problems with your master's. Now, I had a personal tutor then, and I took advantage of having a personal tutor. So when I was struggling, I immediately went to them and I told them, okay, this is it. I'm coming from, a situation where I don't really know how to write essays. Now I'm still writing essays. I'm kind of struggling with this. Can you guide me? Can you put me through? And she was really, really helpful. Aside from even having a personal tutor, I remember that my university as well, they had like an academic skills department. So essentially you book an appointment with someone who is very good in like academic skills, academic essays and things like that. And then they walk you through step by step on the things you need to do, how to frame your essays, how to frame your dissertation and things like that. So there is actually support available. And that's the first benefit of doing your master's. You gain skills and you have the support available for you. So if you're wondering and you're thinking, I'm like, master's about research. I've never done research before in my life. Am I going to cope? Am I going to succeed? Well, this is just to encourage you that yes, you can still go ahead with it. There is lots of support available. If you're a beginner, they will walk you through everything you need to know and you become a pro. So that's the first benefit that I gained from doing my master's. Now, the second benefit, which was of course so important, is the friendships and the beautiful people I met during my master's. Honestly, when you're doing your master's, if you're doing your master's abroad, you have the opportunity to meet people from different countries and nationalities. So not just the citizens of that country, but also people that have also traveled from their home countries to come and do their master's. And the beauty about that is that you can then start to appreciate people's culture. I remember I had classmates or classmates from India, classmates from Asia, just generally Asia, classmates that were British as well, classmates from Zimbabwe, from Nigeria, like it was from Japan, from China. It was just like a mix of people from different countries, and just being in that kind of space or that environment was amazing. I did have an experience with that studying in Russia, but this was just quite different. And for some reason, it was just quite different. But it's kind of like opens your eyes to see that there's so much to the world out there. But that's the second benefit. The friendships I made during my master's, core solid friendships, and we are still very good friends today, thank God, because you get to meet people that are like-minded as like you. For example, if you're doing the same course, of course they'll probably have some similar kind of like interest or academic interest like you, and it gives you the opportunity to build that strong friendship. So that's one of the really great benefits I got from doing my master's. The amazing friendships that came with it. I remember we studied together in the library because all of us were just coming and we didn't even know our left and right. So it was really nice to kind of grow together, study together, do our assignments together, encourage each other when we are feeling down, when we are homesick, when we are feeling lonely. Just having that community, just having those friendships was really a huge benefit for me. Now, the third benefit I would say is depending on the course that you're taking, there are some other benefits that your master's course can take. So, for example, I studied the master's in public health and international development. Now, one of the benefits that came with my course was the opportunity to go for a field trip. So the field trip was like a research trip where basically we traveled to Nepal. I'd never been to Nepal before. It's a small country, but also a beautiful country. It has like beautiful mountains, beautiful views. And, we traveled there to do a research. Now, that was my first time actually working or doing like public health research. It was my first time conducting a qualitative interview. It was my first time doing a focus group. So that was just an amazing wealth of experience that is now in my CV that really makes my CV stand out as well. So that's also one of the benefits of doing a master's, depending on the added benefits that are there with your master's course. And I'm going to be talking about that in my next video on what things you should consider and think about before choosing a master's. Because I remember when I saw this was what actually drew me to this course. This was what kind of like enticed me to want to apply and, apply for the scholarship for this course as well. Because when I saw the opportunity to travel out for a field trip, it was just, yes, I need to do that. I need this one. This is the one I want. So there are some, so that's why it's important for you to look through the masters, the module and the things you're going to be doing. And I'm going to be talking about all of that in the next video. Now that's also one of the benefits I got. And then another benefit I got as well was the opportunity to volunteer. Now, of course, you can volunteer anywhere. You don't have to do a master's to be able to volunteer. But during my master's course, I had the opportunity to volunteer with, very, very good and amazing non-governmental organizations. And that really built my skills. Now, one thing about volunteering, like I always say on my channel, like it builds your skills that, that will be very vital for you if you wanted to start working. Things like communication skills, team working skills, collaborating, doing some time management, organization, project management. Volunteering helps you to build those skills. And if you have it in your CV, it can also kind of increase your chances of getting a job if you didn't have any work experience in that particular country that you're studying in. So in my case, during my master's, it gave me the opportunity to kind of get more information about organization like volunteering, because there's always something that they do during like the master's program or just basically during the academic year. They get like different, I think most universities in the UK do that. They call it like a careers fair. So essentially they get like different organizations, they come in to the university, they have a space for them where they all meet, and then you can go to different stands or different stores, get more information about how to apply for jobs in those organizations or how to volunteer. So that was where I saw most of the volunteering roles that I actually applied for later on during my master. So that was also one of the benefits. So I feel like there's that support as well to help you in your career, because the universities do understand as well that after your masters, of course, you want to get a job, but they kind of help you to get those skills and experiences that through volunteering, through the careers fair, so that you can be able to, have the skills you need if you're applying for a new job. Now that's another benefit. Now, I would say the last benefit as well would be kind of like the exposure I gained. Now, I already talked about the field trip exposure, but there was also an exposure in terms of like a conference I attended. It was called the Sheffield WHO conference. It was basically a World Health Assembly simulation conference. Now, that was my first time being in such a, rigid conference like that. I won't call it rigid, but I would say it really simulated what the World Health Assembly is like. And for me, that I have a passion to work in that space in the near future, that kind of gave me insight into what I should be expecting, what kind of skills I need to build up if I wanted to be able to work in spaces like that. So that's also one of the benefits of doing a master's. It kind of, it prepares you for work. And it depends on what you take out of it. Like there are people that just do a master's and they don't really take much out of it because they're either, maybe that's not their focus, that's not their goal, and that's fine. But if for you actually had an intention to do your master's to gain some practical skills, knowledge, experience, networking, you can really take the most out of it. And if you're abroad, you can really take a lot out of it if you're intentional about it. So whenever I saw opportunities like doing conferences or volunteering or even working part-time or doing a project, I would always grab those opportunities. Of course, also looking at my capacity as well. It's not like as if you just pick everything you need to do, but looking at my capacity, I was like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. And I'm so glad I went for that conference, even though it was a paid conference, but it was an investment for me, because at the end of the day, I won the overall best delegate in that conference, which was very shocking for me as well. But it really gave me that experience I needed. Now in my CV, I do mention that in my CV, whenever it's maybe if I'm applying for roles that have to do with policy or have to do with like, creating health policies or things like that, I do include that information there, because why not? It's an experience. No matter how small the experiences are, whether through conference, through volunteering, it's something you can always put in your CV when you're applying for jobs, because they are skills that you've gained. So overall, these are kind of some of the benefits I got from doing a master's abroad. Now, I'm sure many people will have their own benefits and experiences, but I hope that this just gives you like a rough idea of what it's like doing a master's abroad, or what the benefits are like in doing a master's abroad. And just to encourage you that even if you feel like, okay, I don't think I would fit in, or I don't think, I can leave my home country and come to a new country, like I don't trust it enough. And I'm going to, like I said in the next video, I'm talking about what you should actually consider before applying or doing a master's abroad. But I hope that this video has been helpful, and if it has, please give it a thumbs up, like, share, put a comment down below. I would like to hear your thoughts. If you have done a master's before, what are the benefits you gain from doing your master's? I'm sure there are people that will be reading the comments as well that will learn a thing or two from your comments. So please leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.